You have probably seen many Surface Pro 3 reviews on YouTube, but I will try to do this review differently. I won't mention a single specification and I will try to focus on the user experience. I have been using the Surface Pro 2 for the past 1 year or so, and I recently upgraded to the Surface Pro 3. I cannot emphasize how much thinner and lighter the new Surface is. It is finally usable as a tablet, not only as a laptop. The bigger screen also helps. Overall, I would say, this is a better tablet and laptop at the same time. I loved the design of the original Surface, and I like this one even better. The thinness helps, and I was surprised that the battery life didn't suffer. It is only slightly heavier compared to the 12-inch Galaxy Tab Pro, but it runs desktop-class programs and is made out of higher quality materials. The body and the amazing new kickstand are made out of magnesium, and there is a small plastic strip on the top which houses the antenna. Microsoft highlights the kickstand as an essential part of the experience, and I have to say it is. Combined with the new optional Type Cover 3, it feels very stable in the lap or on the desk. I find this a huge pro compared to the other tablets. Every time I want to watch a movie on a different tablet, I miss the kickstand. If you fold the kickstand back, it is completely flush with the rest of the body. If you need to hold this tablet for extended periods of time, it is more pleasant to hold in the portrait mode. The size is similar to an A4 sheet of paper, of course the screen being slightly smaller because of the bezel. Speaking of the display, it is very good. Colors are vibrant but accurate. Resolution is more than adequate. The outdoor visibility is not outstanding, but you won't have any problem using it outside or in direct sunlight. Microsoft opted for a more squarish display compared to the now standard 16:9 displays. Much better choice in my opinion, because it is not as long as other 12-inch tablets. The sound quality is nothing special, but at least we get front-facing stereo speakers, which are loud enough in day-to-day situations. The Surface also includes dual microphones for better performance in, for example, Skype calls. The same goes for the two new cameras. They are nothing spectacular, but much better than the pair on the previous Pro 2, which were unusable for anything different than video calls. One of many useful features is the inclusion of full-sized USB port. It makes this tablet much more versatile than something like an iPad, but if Microsoft wants this to replace a laptop, it should include one more port. It uses mini DisplayPort, by the way that's the same one Apple devices use, for external display connection. I prefer this solution compared to HDMI because it can be converted to basically any port with a simple adapter. The last port on the right hand side is a magnetic charging port similar to Apple's MagSafe. This one has been changed compared to the previous Surface Pros. Now it is much easier to plug in even at night. The charging process is really fast, and the charger includes a second port for charging your smartphone and Surface at the same time. All chargers should have this feature. I would expect this type of attention to detail from Apple, not Microsoft. On the left side of the device is only a headphone jack and volume rocker. Because this is essentially a laptop, it also features active cooling system. Air is drawn in from the sides and exhausted at the top. Hidden underneath the kickstand is a micro SD card slot. The fan inside is almost totally silent for most of the time, but if you do something power hungry, the fan will ramp up almost instantly. It is not terrible, but performance will start to drop in order to reduce the temperature. It is far from unusable, but loading times will be slightly longer. I cannot talk about the features without mentioning the stylus or active digitizer. I use it almost every day for inking or annotations. It is a very useful thing to have, and the button on top, which takes you to OneNote even if the tablet is asleep, is just an extra bonus. Two small cons are that there is no place for the pen because it is thicker than the body of the tablet itself. The second one is it uses batteries, which you have to replace at some point in the future. If you want to get the most out of your Surface, you have to get the type cover. It is much more rigid and stable now. The touchpad is finally usable and the keyboard is backlit. Microsoft has dropped the touch cover, which used only touch-sensitive keys. This one is basically a regular keyboard. The Surface family of tablets is designed to showcase Windows 8, and the Surface Pro 3 does so nicely. I really like the tablet itself, operating systems, and all services put together by one company. That translates to a much smoother and overall better user experience. With that said, I think that Office should be pre-installed because on a business-oriented device like this, it is an absolutely essential piece of software. One software feature I would like to highlight is the split-screen multitasking. Almost all apps support it, and it is a necessity on a large device like this one. Speaking of apps, the situation is much better now. All the well-known titles are now available from the store, but if you need to, you can still use regular programs in the desktop mode. In conclusion, would I recommend the Surface Pro 3? If you can afford it, absolutely yes, but be sure you know what you are getting. It is one of the best Windows experiences I have had so far. It just makes sense for a company to build the hardware, software and integrate all the necessary services without all the junk and bloatware. I use my Surface every day, and if you are a student or a businessman wanting a tablet instead of a laptop, you should definitely consider picking up this device.